Here's a question I've always found fascinating. Why doesn't honey ever spoil? I mean, you can dig up a jar sealed thousands of years ago in an Egyptian tomb, open it, and it's still good to eat. There's something almost magical about that, right? At first glance, honey just seems like any other sugary treat. But what sets it apart isn't just the sweetness, it's science. Let's break it down. Honey is basically a supersaturated solution of sugars, mostly glucose and fructose. These sugars love holding onto water, but there's not much free water in honey itself. That makes it a nightmare for bacteria or mold. Microbes need moisture to grow, and honey just doesn't give them any. Now, on top of that, honey is pretty acidic, with a pH between 3 and 4.5. That acidity is another line of defense, making the environment even more hostile for any unwanted guests. But the bees don't stop there. When they make honey, they add an enzyme called glucose oxidase. This enzyme breaks down a tiny bit of the glucose into hydrogen peroxide. Yep, the same thing you might use for cleaning wounds. So basically, honey is like a tiny edible fortress. Low water, high acidity, and a dash of natural disinfectant. But there's one more secret. When honey is sealed up, it doesn't absorb moisture from the air. If you keep it tightly closed, it just sits there, unchanged, for years, decades, even millennia. That's why those ancient jars are still edible. Of course, if you leave honey open and it soaks up water from the air, it can eventually ferment or go bad. But as long as you pop the lid back on, you've got a treat that just won't quit. So, next time you stir honey into your tea or drizzle it on toast, just remember, you're tasting something with the power to outlast civilizations. That golden jar in your kitchen? It might just be the most timeless thing you own. If you found this as sweet as I did, stick around. There's a lot more science hiding in plain sight.